A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. That, as you know, is the alphabet in English. And in this video, I'm going to teach you 3 British English slang phrases for each letter of the alphabet. So 26 times 3 equals 78. Ready? Let's kick off. Starting, of course, with A. The first word is ace. That's ace. That restaurant is ace. An ace is another way of just saying excellent, amazing, fantastic, awesome. The second word is all right. And as I've mentioned before on the podcast, it's very common in British English and in the UK to ask someone simply, all right, or all right, mate. And then you respond by also saying, yeah, I'm all right. So all right means, of course, I'm all right, but also, are you all right? And then the third slang phrase is all over the shop, which means chaotic or disorganized. The weather here this last week in Brussels has been all over the shop. One minute it's hailing, then it's raining, then it's sunny, then it's windy. The weather is all over the shop. Now let's move on to B. And we'll start with bloke. And bloke is a way of saying man. So I could say, he's a nice bloke. He's a trustworthy bloke. You should go over to speak to that bloke. That man. The second word is banter. And banter is really, really common. People often say like, he's got good banter. Or she's got good banter. Meaning that they have a good sense of humor and they like to laugh and joke. They have good banter. Sometimes we actually shorten this and say bants. He's got good bants, him. Now, the third phrase related to B is bollocks. And bollocks means, well, a couple of different things. Bollocks actually can be used to say balls, like testicles. But you can also use it to say something is rubbish, it's nonsense, or it's a mistake. So, don't listen to him. He's talking bollocks. He's talking rubbish. Or if somebody tells you something and you don't believe them, you could say, bollocks. No way. No chance. So, there you have the 3 words related to B. Moving on to C. And we'll start with chuffed. If you're chuffed, you're very happy. You're very pleased. I was chuffed when I received the job offer. I was chuffed when I saw that this morning the sun had come out. I was proper chuffed. Really chuffed. Next, we have cheeky. And a cheeky person is a mischievous person. But in British English, we use cheeky for many other things as well. You might ask your friend if they want to go out for a drink with you, and you would ask, cheeky pint? Like, do you fancy a cheeky pint? Or a cheeky takeaway? Or a cheeky burger? So it's like saying something naughty but fun. Cheeky. And then after that, we have a chinwag. And a chinwag is another way of saying a chat, a conversation. I had a chinwag with my neighbor from downstairs. We had a really good chinwag. Fantastic. Let's keep going with D. And D, the first one, which I've mentioned before, which is super, uber common, is dodgy. And dodgy is very versatile. It could mean suspicious. It could mean poor quality. It could mean dangerous. It could be many different things. You could have a dodgy neighborhood in your city, a bit dangerous. A dodgy website that's a bit suspicious or unreliable. And maybe you buy, let's say, an England football jersey, and it's a bit dodgy. Maybe it's not real. It's a bit fake. It's a bit dodgy. After that, we have dead. And I don't mean like dead. I mean the dead that some people in the UK use as an alternative to saying very. I'd say it's especially common around Manchester and Liverpool, a little bit where I'm from around Leeds, but not so much. And if you say that something is dead good, or it's dead interesting, it's dead exciting, you mean it's very, or really exciting or interesting. And after that, we have daft. Come on, don't be daft. Stop being so daft. If you're being daft, you're being a little bit silly, a bit stupid, but it's not a very serious way of saying it. Because if I told someone that they were stupid, it'd be a bit offensive. But if you say he's a bit daft, it's kind of a fun way of saying that someone is quite silly. Sorry, I was a bit daft there. I shouldn't have said that. Silly me. I'm so daft. Then we have E. And we're going to start with something very Yorkshire. So if you are around my neck of the woods, which means my area, my county, which is West Yorkshire, which is in Yorkshire, the biggest county in England, by the way, a lot of people might say, hey up, mate, hey up, how's it going? And hey up is a way of saying, hello, hi, hey up, mate, how's it going? What's new? Hey up. After that, we have a nice phrase, which isn't necessarily strictly British. It's easy peasy. And some people say easy peasy lemon squeezy, which is a little bit of a childish way of saying it's easy, easy peasy, so easy, very easy. It's a piece of cake. It's a walk in the park. It's easy peasy lemon squeezy. But then the next word I'd say is very British, and it is an earful. I could say, oh, I got an earful from my mum. She was telling me off. She was reprimanding me, scolding me. So if someone gives you an earful and you get an earful, they tell you off. They give you a telling off. They give you an earful. Good stuff. Now we have F. And we'll start with faff. Now, faff can be used both as a noun and as a verb. I could ask someone, what's all the faff about? Which is like asking, what's all the fuss about? Like, why are you making a scene? And if somebody is faffing around or faffing about, they're wasting time. They're doing things without really doing anything. Maybe you're supposed to be working on something, but you're just faffing around. You're just faffing about. So you're almost like procrastinating when you should be doing something else. You're faffing. After that, we have fancy. And it's really common in the UK to say, I fancy a coffee. I fancy a beer. Ooh, I really fancy a bar of chocolate. Which is like saying, I feel like it, or I'm craving it. And just like with feel like, if you use a verb after, it will be with ing. I fancy going on holiday this weekend. I feel like going on holiday. And then we have fit. She's well fit. He's well fit. And this is something I used so much when I was growing up at school, maybe less at uni, but in particular at school, where we would call people that we fancy, that we were attracted to, fit. It's like, oh, have you seen her? She's so fit. When of course fit means in shape, like you're physically fit. But in certain areas of England, we use fit as an adjective to call someone good looking, attractive, really fit. Now we have G, and we'll start with gutted. I've mentioned this one a lot. Gutted. I was gutted when England lost in the final of the Euros. Trust me, I was gutted. I was so disappointed. I was really disappointed. I was absolutely gutted. Then we have gobsmacked. If you're smacking your gob, which is your mouth, you're showing this action like the emoji. So you are shocked. You're disappointed as well. You're gobsmacked. I was gobsmacked when I saw what had happened on the news. I couldn't believe my eyes. I was so surprised. Gobsmacked. And the next one is a phrase beginning with give. It is, give us a bell, or give me a bell, give her a bell. And a bell, ding, 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 is used to refer to a phone call. So, give me a call is the same as give me a bell. Give me a bell when your flight lands, all right? Just to let me know you arrived safe and sound. Now we have H. And we're going to begin with hammered, like you are hammering something. And if you say that you are hammered, it means you're really drunk. So last weekend, I went out and I had 100 beers. So at the end of the night, I was hammered. I was totally hammered, really drunk. And now, the second one is half-arsed. If you do a job or you do something half-arsed, you do it kind of with 50%. 50% of your energy or effort. So you don't try very hard. Like I did it, but it was kind of half-assed. It was poorly done because I wasn't paying attention. So it was half-assed, meaning that you didn't try very hard. You did it half-heartedly, which is a nice synonym. Then we have a butchers. This is Cockney rhyming slang, which I mentioned this one a few weeks ago on another British slang video. And if you have a butcher's, you have a look. And it comes from the phrase, a butcher's hook, which rhymes with a look. So have a butcher's at the market. See if you can find something to buy. Meaning, have a look at the market. Have a butcher's. Then we have I is the next letter in the alphabet. And the first one is very British, quintessentially British. It's not my cup of tea. It's not my cup of tea. You know, it's not my thing. I don't like it. We could talk about popcorn, for example. Many people love popcorn, but for some reason, it's not really my cup of tea. I don't hate it, but it's not my thing. I'm not that into it. I don't like it that much. Then we have in it. In it. And traditionally, in it is just another way of saying, isn't it? This question tag. As a way to say like, right? In it, mate. And it's super common, so common. And some people use it just to say that you agree with someone else. You'd say, oh, Leeds United are going to win the football match this weekend. In it, mate. Like, yeah, I think so. I hope so as well. And the next is kind of international. It's not purely British, but it's really common as well. And it is, I'm easy. Do you want pizza or pasta tonight? I don't know. I'm not fussed. I'm easy. It's up to you. I don't mind. I'm easy. If you're easy, you're flexible. You're easy to please. Then we have J, and we'll start with jiffy. And if you do something in a jiffy, or you will be back in a jiffy, you'll be back in a moment. So a jiffy is a short period of time. If you'll do it in a jiffy, you'll do it very quickly. This one's a little bit old-fashioned, to be honest. We don't use it that much anymore, but it still sounds pretty cool. I'll be back in a jiffy. I'll be back in a minute. I'll be back in a second. Then if you describe someone as a joker, oh yeah, he's a joker, him. He's a real joker. It is a person who tells jokes. So a person who's funny. But while it could be used in a positive way to describe someone as being funny and they make you laugh, you could also use it with a negative connotation to describe someone who always takes the piss, who always annoys you, that maybe they're joking too much that you can't take them seriously. So, it's a bit frustrating. He's a proper joker, him. Oh, gets on my nerves. And then the other word with J is jammy. Oh, you jammy bastard. You're so jammy. You won the lottery. You're so jammy, I can't believe it. Wow. So a jammy person is a very lucky person. He's so jammy. I can't get over how jammy he is. Then we have K. And we'll begin with one of my favorites. It is knackered. To be honest, yesterday was a long day. I taught 11 hours of classes, which is mental, crazy. It was a long, long day. By the way, if you'd like to join my classes, there's a link in the description. But at the end of the day, I was knackered. I was exhausted. Whew, absolutely knackered. Then we have a kip. I should have had a quick kip yesterday when I had a break. And if you have a kip, you have a nap. You have a siesta. So a kip is quite northern, maybe a little bit Scottish as well, as an alternative to a short sleep, a nap. Then, quite a neutral adjective, keen. Yeah, I'm really keen. I'm really keen on doing that. I'm keen on meeting up this weekend. I'm proper keen. And keen is just, interested, eager, enthusiastic. You want to do it. I'm keen on it. Then we have L. And we'll begin with lad or lads. So I'm going to go out with the lads this weekend, meaning the boys, my mates. And we can use it for a group, but also for individuals. My cousin, he's a really good lad. And my brother-in-law, he's a good lad as well, meaning he's a nice guy. He's a good boy. Then we have the loo. I'm just off to the loo. Be right back. Not really. But if you're off to the loo, you're going to the toilet. I go to the loo sometimes between classes. And if I start drinking beer, then I go to the loo a lot more. The loo is simply the toilet. Next, we have leg it. I remember when I was growing up, and maybe we would be playing pranks on other people. So perhaps you would throw an egg at them, and then they'd turn around, and you would shout and scream, "Come on, lads, let's leg it!" And to leg it is to run away quickly. Likewise, if the police are chasing you, you might hear someone say, "Come on, guys, let's leg it," meaning let's run as quickly as possible. Now we have M, and we begin with mate. Maybe the most common slang word of all. And it's really common in British English, but of course also in Australian English, Kiwi English. A mate just means friend. This weekend, I'm going to meet up with my mates. I'm going to have a good time with my mates. All right, mate. Then minging. Minging. Absolutely minging. When I went for a walk earlier, I saw that somebody had puked, thrown up, vomited on the street. And it was, absolutely minging. Disgusting. And if food doesn't look tasty, you could also say, it looks minging. After that, we have mad. Of course, mad means, well, crazy. Are you mad? Like, are you crazy? Are you alright in the head? But we can also use mad as a way of saying angry, especially in the United States. I was so mad. And some people, as a slang way of saying it, will use it to also say very. I was mad busy. Like, proper busy. Dead busy. Mad busy. Now we have N. We'll begin with naff. That's a bit naff. I bought a new car, but it's a bit naff. It's not very cool. Maybe it's not the best quality. It doesn't have the best reputation. The clothes that he bought were a bit naff, for example. Then we have a verb, and it is nick. Nick. When I was at uni, somebody broke into my house and nicked my laptop. Terrible, terrible times. And if you nick something from someone, you steal it from someone. They nicked my phone. And I was gobsmacked. But also, the same verb, in different contexts, can mean to be caught by the police. He was nicked after being caught red-handed nicking some meat from the supermarket. He got nicked. He got caught by the police. English. Funny, innit? Innit? Then we have O. The first one is on the piss. You're going to think I'm an alcoholic, but I promise I'm not. Just examples. If you go out on the piss, you go out drinking with the intention of getting pissed, getting drunk. We were out on the piss at the weekend, and that's when we ran into these old friends. On the piss, out drinking. Then if something is out of order, this is quite a generic English term, it's unacceptable. Maybe your boss or your teacher could tell you and warn you and give you an earful by saying that your behavior was out of order. Absolutely out of order. Unacceptable. And if you're wearing something old school, for example, this England top is a bit old school. It is old, but it's also a traditional one. The way you think or your values could be old school. If you believe in traditional values, they could be old school values. Now we have P. And the first one is one that I've used so many times already during this little video podcast A to Z. Proper. He was proper drunk. He was proper angry. I was proper enthusiastic. It means very or really. Same thing, really. Proper. I hope you think this is a proper good video. And pissed, going over it from earlier, means drunk. I got so pissed. I got so drunk. However, pissed off means angry. So maybe whilst you are on the piss and you got pissed, drunk, somebody said something to you and it pissed you off. It made you feel pissed off. It made you angry. But careful here, because in the US, they would use pissed without off to also say angry. So, be aware of that. But hey, this video is about Brits, innit? Now we have Q. You see, in the UK, our currency is pound sterling. But a lot of us just say quid. If you're in need of some money, you could ask your friend, like, can you lend me a quid? Can I borrow a quid? It means a pound. And the next adjective is a weird person, a strange person. It's a quirky person. My friend Rodolfo, for example, is a bit quirky. He's a bit unique. He's a bit strange. He has unusual hobbies and interests and behavior. So he's a quirky guy, a little bit unusual. Then if you are quids in, this one's not so common, but I'll teach you it anyway. If you're quids in, you're in a good situation. I think it comes from gambling, where if you've already made some cash, you are quids in. So you're in a good situation. We were quids in. Now we have R. And we'll start with rubbish. Of course, rubbish is trash, it's garbage, it's things that you put in the bin, but you can also use it to say it's nonsense, you know? Or even it's poor quality. The film we watched was rubbish. It was poor quality. Or if somebody's telling you something and you don't believe them, like before, you can say, that's rubbish. What a load of rubbish. Are you having me on? Are you having me on? Which means, are you joking with me? Are you taking the piss? Then we have reckon. What do you reckon? Reckon means think. I reckon it's going to rain again later. I reckon I'm going to have a great Easter. I think I am. And then we have yet another alternative to very. We have a plethora of alternatives for very. And another one is right. It's right good. That pub over there, it's right good. The bakery, the new one that's just opened, oh, it's right good. It's dead good. It's proper good. It's mad good. And the list goes on and on. Then we have S. And S, the first one is skint. Skint. At the moment, I'm a bit skint. Meaning I'm broke. I haven't got any money. I'm skint. So can I borrow some money? Because I'm proper skint. The second word is sorted. If you ask someone if they had completed something and they respond by saying, yeah, I've sorted it, or it's sorted, it means it's done, it's organized. I've already sorted my travel plans for summer. It's sorted, don't worry. And then we have shattered. Shattered is another way of saying exhausted, knackered. Like I said earlier, yesterday after teaching 11 hours, I was shattered. I was knackered. I was exhausted. Then we move on to T. And I've used the phrase taking the piss. But if you don't want to say piss, you can say Mickey. Don't worry, I'm just taking the Mickey. I'm just joking. I'm just kidding. Or I'm mocking you. I'm pulling your leg. I'm taking the Mickey. Or taking the Mick. And I'm actually recording this on the 1st of April. So it's April Fool's Day. So if I play a joke on someone, then I tell them the truth, I'll say, oh, don't worry, mate. I was just taking the Mick. I was just taking the Mickey. It was a joke. Calm down. Calm down. Now, another relatively rude phrase is tosser. A tosser is an idiot, someone you don't like. So, of course, don't use this one. But if you hear it, you know, if somebody is describing a tosser, they're angry and they're calling someone an idiot. So, in comparison to that, the next word is tar. Tar, mate. Oh, tar. It means thanks. Cheers. Thank you. Tar for watching up until this point, because we've only got a few left now. And we move on to you. You. And if you're up for something, it means you're willing to do something. You want to do something. We're going to the beach at the weekend. Are you up for it? Do you want to come? I'm going to set up a new business. Are you up for joining me? Are you willing or wanting to join me? Next, we have utter. Utter. What he said was utter nonsense. Complete nonsense. Complete rubbish. Everything he says is utter nonsense. Complete garbage. Rubbish. You can probably imagine who I'm thinking of right now. That everything he says is utter garbage. Nonsense. Now we have under the weather. Under the weather. Luckily, touch wood, I haven't been under the weather really this year yet. And if you're under the weather, you're a little bit sick, a little bit ill. Nothing major, but you know, a cold. So, fortunately, I haven't been under the weather yet this year. Now, the. And we'll start with a phrasal verb that a few of my students use on a regular basis, and it is veg out. If you veg out, you act like a vegetable, and a vegetable doesn't really do anything. So you relax lazily. On Sundays, I tend just to veg out. And when I finish work today, I'm just going to veg out on the sofa. Just take it easy and chill out, really. Next, we have vibe. This one's very generic and universal as well, not only British. But the vibe is the atmosphere. There was a good vibe at the party. There's a good vibe in our workplace. A good atmosphere. And another generic word, because, well, there aren't many slang phrases with V, is vanished. And if something vanishes, it disappears quickly. In the UK, there is a brand of cleaning products, a spray, and it's called Vanish because it makes stains vanish. It makes them disappear very quickly. Now we have W, and we have a synonym for tosser. And this is quite rude. It's quite strong. It is wanker. And that's the only time I'm going to say it. And it means an idiot or someone who, well, masturbates. That is the origin of this word. Among my friends, I use it quite a lot. But of course, this is not something I would usually teach, but it is authentic British English language. So now you know what it means. It could be an idiot or someone who masturbates. And then we have another version of very, and it is well. That's well good. Oh, it's well tasty. That's well interesting. So it's yet another alternative way of, emphasizing something and saying very. It's well good. Yeah, it's well good, that. Now we have a verb. Whinge. 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 If you're whinging, you are whining. You're grumbling. You're complaining. The kids were whinging after they didn't get their own way. I often whinge about the weather. I complain about it. I'm always whinging. Then we have X. And of course, there are very few words in general with X. So I was kind of scratching at the surface of possible British English slang words here. The first one is Xmas, which you'll know is Christmas, Xmas. Then if something is extra, sometimes people remove the E from the spelling when you're texting to say that something, well, it's a bit too much or it's a bonus, it's extra. And then if something is explicit, it's X-rated. Some of the vocabulary and the words and phrases I've been teaching today have been a little bit X-rated, a bit explicit. And we have Y. We'll begin with yonks. Yonks is another way of saying ages. Less common, but it's another way to say it. I haven't seen my friend John in yonks. I haven't seen him in ages, in a long time, in donkey's years, which is another British English slang phrase. I haven't seen John in donkey's years. Then in American English, it's common for people to say y'all. What are y'all doing? Where are y'all going? Whereas in British English, it's more common to just say you lot. Where are you lot going? What are you lot doing? What are you people doing? And then if somebody is yapping, constantly yapping, this is common in the US as well, they're talking a lot. They're constantly yapping. Now, last but not least, we have Z. In American English, they say Z, but we say Z. Another alternative to shattered and knackered is zonked. I was zonked. I wouldn't use it too often, but you might hear it. Then, in the UK, we have zebra crossings, which are these pedestrian crossings where you have black and white paint, a zebra crossing. In the US, they say a crosswalk, I believe. And just to reiterate and go over this, in the US, they say Z, and in the UK, we say Z. And that is how I'm going to finish this video podcast of me teaching you all about British English words, phrases, and slang in alphabetical order. So, I hope you found it useful. I hope you liked it. Leave a like if so, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Ta-ra and ta. Bye!